I still exist there. The bakery. Here is a short story about a baker who discovers that although the past may still live in memory, he does not have to keep giving it a home in the present. For many years, Elias owned a small bakery at the corner of Willow Street. Every morning before sunrise, he unlocked the door, tied on his white apron, and began making the same 4 kinds of bread. One recipe came from his first marriage. Another came from a woman he had once loved deeply. A third reminded him of a relationship filled with arguments and apologies. The fourth was a sweet loaf he had created during the loneliest year of his life. Customers loved the bread, but Elias rarely tasted it. Each loaf carried him somewhere else. As he kneaded the dough, he remembered promises he had made, words he wished he could take back, and moments he still wanted to change. Sometimes he imagined his former partners walking into the bakery. He would explain himself better. He would finally say the right thing. They would understand who he had really been. One morning, a young woman entered just as Elias removed a tray from the oven. She pointed to a dark loaf covered with seeds. "What is that one called?" Elias paused. "That is the bread of my second marriage." She looked puzzled. "Does it taste good?" "I don't know," Elias admitted. "I haven't tasted it in years." The woman bought the loaf and left. Her question stayed with him. That afternoon, Elias cut one slice from each of the 4 breads and placed them on the table. He tasted the first, regret. He tasted the second, longing. He tasted the third, guilt. He tasted the fourth, sadness. Elias stared at the empty bakery. "I still exist there," he whispered. An old baker named Miriam was passing the window and heard him. She stepped inside. "Where do you still exist?" "In every relationship," Elias said. "Part of me is still trying to repair what happened. I keep baking the same memories, hoping they will finally turn out differently." Miriam picked up a piece of dough. "The dough cannot become yesterday's loaf," she said. "It can only become what you shape today." Elias looked at the shelves. "But those relationships made me who I am." "They influenced you," Miriam replied. "That is not the same as owning you." She pressed her thumb into the dough. "A shape can remain for a while, but the clay of the mind is still willing to be given another purpose." Elias felt tears rise. "If I release the roles, am I abandoning the people I loved?" "No," Miriam said. "You are releasing the belief that suffering is how you prove the love was real." The words landed like warm bread in an empty stomach. Elias closed his eyes. He saw himself as the husband, the rescuer, the rejected one, the guilty one, and the one who had disappeared to keep the peace. One by one, he placed the roles on the table. "These are not what I am," he said. Miriam nodded. "Then let them feed the lesson instead of feeding the prison." The next morning, Elias entered the bakery before sunrise. He kept the old recipes, but he stopped naming them after his past. He changed the spices. He added new fruit. He allowed the dough to become something it had never been before. Above the oven, he hung a small sign: "The past may be remembered without being repeated." For the first time in many years, Elias tasted the bread while it was still warm. He did not disappear into memory. He remained where he was. May we sing, rest, and dance our way home together.